Hello everyone and welcome back to this channel. By now, we have covered 3 chapters in this series. We tracked the god of thunder Thorium and calculated its billion-year payload. We walked through the strategic blueprint of Dr. Homi Bhabha. We breached the perimeter of the beast at Kalapakkam to see how the Prototype Fast Breeder Reactor runs on liquid sodium to forge a plutonium bridge. It is May 2026. The core at Kalapakkam is alive. The second lap of the race is verified. But let's be entirely clear. The beast is not the destination. It is the refinery. The plutonium breeding in that core right now is a mere ignition key. The uranium-238 blanket is just a practice run. Today, we drop the hammer on the final stage, the Thorium Utopia. This is the threshold where India stops begging for foreign uranium and dictates its own sovereign destiny. We are dissecting the mechanics of the thorium blanket, the Advanced Heavy Water Reactor, and the holy grail of nuclear engineering, the Molten Salt Reactor. But we will not shield you from the raw physics. We are exposing the structural liabilities, the vicious gamma radiation, the corrosive chemical nightmares, the mathematical doubling time trap that locks stage 3 on the horizon of 2070. This is the endgame, the hard pivot from technology denial to total indigenous dominance. To map stage 3, you must instantly separate fertile from fissile matter. Thorium-232 is fertile. It is a dead-weight wet log of the atomic grid. Throw a neutron match at it, it refuses to burn. To extract energy, you must force transmutation into uranium-233, the true high-velocity fissile fuel. Stage 1 consumed uranium-235. Stage 2 breeds plutonium-239. Stage 3 runs exclusively on uranium-233. This is why the sodium-cooled fast reactor is indispensable. We do not just build it to harvest plutonium. We weaponize its brutal, unmoderated neutron flux to mercilessly blast a thorium-232 blanket. Pivot to the target payload, uranium-233. In the thermal spectrum, where we slow neutrons down, uranium-233 stands as the most efficient asset in physics. Look at its eta value, approximately 2.29. That is the exact number of new neutrons fired for every single neutron absorbed. Because its eta value clears the critical threshold of 2.0, uranium-233 unlocks thermal breeding. It lets us build a reactor that slows neutrons down, making the core radically safer and easier to govern, while generating more fuel than it destroys. That is the physics behind the stage 3 dream. But guarding that dream is a wall of lead and a mountain of corrosive chemistry. Let's dismantle the corporate hype. Uranium-233 carries a lethal genetic flaw. It is violently noisy. When you transmute thorium into uranium-233, physics forces a parasitic hitchhiker into the matrix, uranium-232. Uranium-232 is a cellular death sentence. Its decay chain breeds thallium-208, an isotope that fires high-energy gamma radiation at a staggering 2.6 MeV. Imagine a block of gold that screams so intensely that it can be tracked for miles and physically vaporizes human tissue unless blocked by a 2-ton lead shield. That is uranium-232. Humans cannot enter the fabrication floor. Standard assembly lines are useless. Every single coordinate of the fuel cycle, from blanket extraction to pellet pressing, must be executed by remote-controlled robotics sealed inside heavy concrete shielded hot cells. This is not merely an engineering bottleneck. It is an economic filter. It drives the capital cost of the thorium cycle miles past standard uranium. Stage 3 is a grueling vertical climb because we are constructing an industrial empire where human hands can never touch the product. The second barrier is pure chemical resistance. In stage 2, isolating plutonium from uranium utilizes the THOREX process. It is predictable, well mapped, but stripping uranium-233 out of a blasted thorium blanket demands the THOREX protocol. Thorium is chemically stubborn, indissoluble by standard matrix. To fracture the matrix and extract the uranium-233, you must flood the system with highly corrosive acids that aggressively eat through industrial-grade piping. Worse, physics forces a mandatory waiting room, protactinium-233. When thorium captures a neutron, it refuses to transform into uranium-233 instantly. It shifts first into protactinium-233, holding a rigid half-life of 27 days. Reprocess the fuel too fast, the protactinium chokes the reaction, poisoning the core. Wait too long, capital acids sit entirely idle. This chemical purgatory demands massive, heavily shielded storage pools and slow, deliberate processing arrays. We are trapped in a countdown, waiting for the immutable timeline of atomic decay to catch up with our geopolitical ambition. Now, look at the hardest mathematical truth of the three-stage architecture, the doubling time trap. To ignite stage 3, you need an immense fissile payload of uranium-233. To secure that payload, your stage 2 breeder reactors must run uninterrupted for decades. A single sodium-cooled fast reactor requires 10 to 15 years just to breed enough excess fuel to spark one additional core of identical scale. That is linear velocity trying to feed an exponential energy market. India's current atomic footprint is constrained. We operate a small fleet of stage 1 assets and exactly one prototype fast breeder reactor at Kalapakkam until we deploy a network of 10 to 20 beasts running at absolute capacity 24/7. The plutonium inventory cannot scale to meet a national stage 3 development. This is why the coordinates point directly to 2070 and not 2030. We are waiting for the beast to slowly build the future. Yet, despite the constraints, the hardware is engineered and ready. Look at the AHWR, the vertical sentinel. Designed top to bottom by BAR, the Advanced Heavy Water Reactor is a 300 MWE installation, optimized strictly for the thorium matrix. It stands vertical, feeding a custom blend of plutonium and uranium-233 to split the thorium armor. Its ultimate line of defense is passive safety. The superstructure mounts the GDWP, a gravity-driven water pool packed with 7,000 cubic meters of emergency water. If the core overheats, the thermal valves melt. No electricity required. No human intervention needed. Gravity drops the hammer, flooding the core instantly. It is safety written directly into the laws of gravity. Then look at the ultimate prize, the Molten Salt Reactor. Here we eliminate solid fuel rods that crack and wrap under intense thermal stress. Instead, thorium is chemically dissolved directly into a glowing liquid fluoride salt stream. The constraint? Material science. Molten fluoride salts at 700 degrees Celsius are intensely corrosive. They melt standard stainless steel from the inside out. Indian metallurgists had to invent proprietary superalloys like Hestalloy N just to stop the plumbing from dissolving. The MSR is an atomic starship, but we are still refining the hull to survive the voyage. Why confront the gamma radiation? Why engineer against hyper-corrosive acids? Because of the 500 air advantage. Conventional uranium infrastructure generates transuranics like americium that radiate lethal toxicity for over 200,000 years. That is a permanent geological scar. The thorium cycle sits lighter on the periodic table. It produces almost zero long-lived transuranic waste. Its radiological profile plummets to safe background parameters in just 300 to 500 years. We have standing monuments older than 500 years. We understand that scale. we can govern it. By selecting thorium, India trades a 2000th century nightmare for a 5th century manageable project. India's geopolitical coordinate is locked, net zero emission by 2070. To execute that target, atomic energy must aggressively scale from 2% of the national grid to 25% or more. The criticality achieved at Kalapakkam in April 2026 is no mere press release. It is the physical validation of the sodium to thorium bridge. We are not watching a calendar. We are calculating maturity. The acceleration at Kalapakkam nuclear complex signals absolute tactical confidence. True energy sovereignty is never granted. It is manufactured on the factory floor. India sits on 400,000 tons of thorium reserves. A single ton holds the energy equivalent of 3 million tons of high-grade coal. Neutralize the chemical and radiological barriers, and our coastal sands can power this civilization for 1,000 years. It is the absolute destruction of resource scarcity, the definitive end of the developing label. In 1954, Dr. Homi Bhabha stood before a wall of critics and traced his exact trajectory. Dr. Bhabha saw the hurdles too, but he trusted the unyielding laws of physics behind them. The criticality at Kalapakkam is the exact instant that dream solidified into a mature industrial reality. The relay race has broken through the Cold War, bypassed international blockades, and survived technology isolation. The loop is closing. India's trajectory to 2070 is no longer an aspiration. It is an engineering certainty. It will be brutal. It will be capital intensive. It will exhaust generations. But the core is alive. The mission continues. The future is fertile. We will meet in our next video. Until then, stay curious.